So before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, you like this video, you click on all those notifications for every time I upload a video. Now let's get down to what this thumbnail is about. So I want to talk about something that I I want to talk about something with you guys. If you guys can help me out with this video, what made WCW and ECW the way it was back then? I want to know because I really want to know about WCW and ECW because back in the day, I never watched it. I never watched ECW or even WCW. I've never watched it. I never watched it before. And I just want to know what made WCW the way it is back then. And also I have another question as well. What made ECW well it is today? I do have some questions for all of you about WCW and ECW, the way that everything um fell through, the matches, the segments, the backstage interviews with ECW and WCW. I want to know all of I want to know I wa- I really want to know what it was like watching the WCW from your eyes. I know nothing about it because I never watched it growing up. ECW was one of the promotions that I could never watch back then because it was all about inappropriate stuff like sex and violence. That's understandable at a young kid's age. That's understandable on why I could not watch ECW back then. I'm now a man and I need to know what made ECW the way it was. I just want to know, like, and these questions that I have is not for me. These questions that I wrote down are not for me. These questions I want to give you the questions and maybe you can answer it for me in the comments down below. So one of my questions are, what was Eddie Guerrero's direction in WCW? What were the best matches on WCW? What were the storylines look like in WCW? These and these questions for WCW really comes at me right now because I never watched it back then. It's been going on since I don't know, since 1980s, 1994. That was the year that I was born. I was born in 1994, around the time of WCW. And, and I know that um, this is coming from a guy that never watched WCW. Yet I know nothing about Steen's Steen's work on WCW, Dusty Rhodes' work, Dusty's work on WCW, or Rey Mysterio on how Rey Mysterio became the greatest YouTuber of all time by being on WCW. And because of me not watching WCW back then, I also have some questions about ECW. And may I remind you, I have never ever watched ECW in a day in my life, like ever, like ever, like never ever. I never ever watched ECW, like at all. Because when I was growing up, I, as a simple kid growing up in the city, I was always a city boy. I was always a city boy, like living in the city. And I never, it's understandable for a young kid wanting to watch pro wrestling, ECW. I couldn't understand what was ECW about. I couldn't understand that because I didn't get into pro wrestling into 2003. I was born in 1994 and I didn't start watching it until 2003. So I know nothing about WCW or ECW. I just want to know what made WCW and ECW well it was back then and what it was with these featured stars coming in from you know from those brands and all that from those brands. And I also have some questions about ECW. What were the matches that made ECW? Which ECW superstar helped ECW grow? What was Paul Heyman's concept of the brand ECW? And I want to know about Paul Heyman's concept of the ECW brand. I want to know about it because I don't understand. I didn't, yeah, back when I was a kid, I never understood ECW. I never understood it because I never watched it. Because it was all about SAX and XXX, or SAX, XXX, or Viance. I, that's understandable for a young kid like me. I just want to know what ECW was in your eyes. Because I know there's a lot of fans out there of WCW and ECW. Maybe you can help me out with these questions by answering them in the comments down below. I just want to know everything about WCW and ECW. Which superstars Eric Bischoff molded to be WCW World Champion? What was WC, what was WCW's plan for Dusty Rhodes? These are those were the questions that I really want to know to understand what made ECW, what made WCW the way it was back then in your eyes. I want to know, like I know there were, I know a couple stars on WCW, Ric Ric Flair, Goldberg, Steen, Dusty Rhodes, and I think that's all. Um, I think that's all the superstars that I know that were on WCW. I just want to know. I just want to know what made WCW the way it was. And with the questions that I have for ECW, sound off in the comments down below what it looked like to you in your eyes. I want to know everything. I I don't want to know like what goes on backstage. Um, I want to know what goes on backstage. The plans that went into the concept of WCW and ECW. I want to know. Like I only know a couple superstars from ECW, being Tommy Trimo, the Sandman, Mick Foley. um, CM Punk, and those are the superstars that I know that were on ECW back in the day. I just want to know what it was about WCW and ECW, what it was in your eyes. I know nothing about it because I never watched it growing up, but you let me know in the comments down below what made ECW and WCW the way it was back then to where it is. I just sound off in the comments down below what made WCW and ECW the way it was back then to where it was today. Sound off in the comments down below. Let me know. Let me know in the comments in down below what what should I watch. I just want to know what were your favorite matches on ECW and WCW. Maybe I would cover videos on it on my other platform. Um, if you want me to do the if you want me to do content of the WCW or ECW, let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do that. Because I am open to do any content that you guys want. This is not for what I want. This is about what you want. This is about what you want to see on this channel. So let me know your thoughts on my questions about ECW and WCW. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You like this video and you ring that bell for all notifications for the next time I upload a video.